Morning everybody, I'm Meg from LovenStamps and this is Make Our Mornings with Meg. And I've got my Valentine colors on today because we are absolutely doing a Valentine's with the sweet talk and the conversation hearts. Lots of fun for this kind of bundle. And if you are a person who likes to mix and match lots of different products, but you don't want to have to stress over where they all are and whether things go together and so forth, this is a sweet for you, especially for these bundles, or especially for Valentine's. And of course, you could use it for longer than Valentine's if you go ahead and incorporate love you sentiments and things like that. There's lots of hearts in there, but it doesn't have to be Valentine only, but it is great for Valentine's. So good morning to Kathy and Doris and Trish and Beverly and Melissa and everybody else who's on there. Natalie, thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you like the sweater. It's really warm, which is kind of a good thing for this time of year. So, all right. So stamp set is Sweet Conversations. This one here. The coordinating. Oh, they're out of their container, so I'm nervous about picking it up. Coordinating dies here, you can kind of see them. And then of course the coordinating designer series paper, which I have been going through like crazy. I'm gonna give you some tips for mixing and matching, for picking colors, for this fabulous heart paper here, which you can fussy cut with scissors, or you can use the dies and cut yourself. So lots of good possibilities there. Hey, Kim. All right, so are you guys ready on this Friday morning to get stamping? I hope you have fun plans for your weekend and a whole month until Valentine's Day. So lots of time to keep working towards getting ready for Valentine's. So, all right, let's see here. Got our camera set. There we go. All right, so like I said, Sweet Conversations. Now, you guys know that when I have 12 by 12 paper, I really, really love to make designer series paper card bases, where the card base itself is made from designer series paper. And so I'm going to go ahead and do one of those again this morning because this paper is beautiful and I love to be able to show off both sides of it, to kind of maximize it as a design element. So we're going to go ahead and start with a piece of designer series paper here that is 12 inches wide, so it's just the whole width of it, and then 5¼ inches tall, so the instruction 5¼ and you're going to score your paper. We'll get you a little closer here at 2, 5, and 8 inches. Okay, so I have already pre-scored this, so 2, 5, and 8 inches. And then you're gonna do kind of a Z fold. So this is gonna be sort of the bottom of our card. So I'm gonna leave this one here like that. Then I'm gonna fold back and forth along those score lines, and the front is gonna end here, okay? So there we have our zigzag fold, and maybe see it best this way, our zigzag fold for our card. And since we made this 5¼ inches tall, I'm gonna go ahead and mat this on a piece of quarter sheet real red cardstock, which of course is perfect match. Gotta love Stampin' Up! Colors, really can't beat those, okay? So let's go ahead and stick this down because we're not gonna be messing too much. Although honestly, if you wanted to, I did some of these cards, this DSP Card Base layout when the Blackberry Beauty paper was out. And if you go back, I actually put a piece of ribbon underneath it like this and then tied it across. I wonder whether, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I have a different ribbon planned, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue this. This is what comes from when we design cards on the fly together. We like to add little elements while we're doing our video, right? That was kind of fun. We had added linen thread to our last video with the Cactus Cuties pot. That was a great idea. So, all right. Hi, Gian. Nice to see you too. And Doris and Taryn and all the people. Beverly. All right. So we have our base here. Now how to decorate this. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is that you have a panel here that if you put things behind, they're going to show. So we're going to be kind of creative about how we use that. And I love to make some kind of fun shapes to the panels that we're going to put across here. Now you could solve that problem by putting like a big panel like all the way across here, but then that really hides a lot of our paper, and I want our paper to show off in case you couldn't see this, these little Valentine suckers, they're like little Valentine suckers, which I think are super cute. So Valentine candy with no calories, right? So we're gonna use Stitch So Sweetly, which is one of my go-to die sets. I love these scalloped rectangles, and they come in many sizes and shapes, which means they're really easy to adapt for lots of card layouts. This is one of my staples for certain. And so I kind of tried this one first, but it felt really big. It felt like it went too far from left to right. So I went down a size and picked this one, which is the third largest. And then for the inner layers, we want them to hide. So I could perfectly line them up and use the same, or for those inside layers that are gonna go kind of down here and down here, I picked the nesting die that's just one size smaller. So it's gonna hide underneath here, which is just perfect for our layout. So that's a great advantage of something like this, where you have some nesting dies as you go, okay? And some fun choices. This is a great die set. All right, so what to layer this here, and the designer series paper itself has lots of purples in it, lots of greens, lots of teals. So I decided to go with purple and this stripe, which is a real nice contrast to the paper that's in the background. So I'm gonna bring this in here, and this is going to be our next layer. Now I kind of wanted to add a little bit of like a vertical element. A lot of times I'll add like a cardstock strip or something like that as we go, but I wanted to stand out a little, and so I've got a piece of this red linen ribbon, and I'm gonna pop this under here. So I know it was tempting to use it before, but we're gonna use it here. So I'm just gonna kind of cut an angle like that and pop this on here and put our layer over it, okay? So to attach this, I'm gonna show you a trick with Stampin' Dimensionals, which you might already know, but always kind of good to hear something sometimes again. And so I'm gonna grab some edge pieces here from my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I want this to just kind of be held down. It's kind of hard sometimes to stick ribbon because the adhesive comes right through it. So like if I were to use my favorite multi-purpose liquid glue on this ribbon, the ribbon is very open weave, and so that glue would pop through. But here, I can just pop those dimensionals on and they trap the ribbon in place, and then add our panel, okay? All right, now, actually, let's see. Okay, here's a way to fix a trick. Do you see I got this upside down? This paper is directional. Some of it in this set is not. But when you're trying to take something apart, it's really important to shear the adhesive. Did you see how I just, instead of peeling back like this, instead of like peeling like this, which would bend the cardstock fibers, I just twisted it. I kind of pulled and twisted, and what that does is it means that the adhesive gives way instead of the papers being damaged. So a really good trick to remember when you're taking things apart, because you put them on upside down. Now we'll try again. And I think that probably we don't even need to replace the dimensionals. Yeah, there we go, much better. Okay, so keep that trick in mind. Let's see. Now let's decorate the front of our card, and then we'll get to those inside layers. So I really like from this stamp set, these little conversation hearts. And so the designer series paper can be cut either with scissors, or here are the dies, and the dies match the little hearts here. So you can cut them out till your heart's content. That wasn't very funny, but thank you for not groaning too much. Anyway, so all three of those larger hearts match the designer series paper. And so I have a mess of them cut out already. So let's bring in these. So I've got a green one and a pink, petal pink, and a blue one and a peachy one, this is Blushing Bride, this is petal pink, and a yellow one. So let's look at kind of popping these on here. Just sort of a random kind of placement. Let's see, maybe pop this one out here. All right, which I have kind of set up now, but I left space in the middle for our greeting. We're gonna go ahead and put Happy Valentine's Day on this one. So let's go ahead, let's see. I like to use my blocks. Do you guys do that? Use your blocks to hold your cards closed so they don't shift too much when you're working. So let's go ahead and cut this little piece here. Happy Valentine's Day. And I've got it stamped. I'm going to stamp it in, whoops. I would like actually the whole thing. So let's flip that over and try again. We're going to include Happy Valentine's Day. There we go, in real red. And I want this to be, now I can put it across here, but I think I'm gonna, actually that's pretty cute, but I'm gonna add one more layer. So let's go ahead and trim this down. And the Stampin' Trimmer is my, it's just amazing at trimming little tiny fragments off of paper. So I'm gonna pop this on here, I'm gonna set this down, and then I'm gonna hold the guard, the clear guard, and that's gonna hold the paper in half, even though I can't reach it with my finger. Hold the paper down, not in half, and hold it in place while I cut, which is pretty miraculous. So let's line this one up, same thing, hold the guard, and slide across, and there we have a teeny trimmed thing. Now, if you are, if you've trimmed a lot of little tiny scraps of paper, you know that this is really a pretty fabulous quality tool. So not your average, that is for sure. So hi Cindy. All right, so we have our teeny little greeting here, which we're gonna put on here, but I thought, why don't we add an element to it, like this fun stripy paper here, just to kind of emphasize as we go across there, right? Like, why not one more layer that matches with the same fabulous colors? But I wanted to use this die, which is also, there are, if you don't have a lot of heart dies, man, there are a lot in this sweet conversation heart set. So I'm gonna go ahead and die cut this from our stripy paper, which I have here through the magic of television. And then I'm gonna go ahead and layer this piece on here. All right, now if you're wondering why I didn't stamp on the banner, it's a little too short, and there is a trick that you can use with a strip to, you know, kind of make that. If you're a person who hates cutting freehand banner tails like this, then this is the great die to have. And really you can make them any length you want. So I don't know, there's a cool trick to that, and pulling your paper through, and anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and use multi-purpose liquid glue, which is my go-to for adding teeny little pieces there. I'm gonna do our paper mostly in the middle, maybe a little tiny bit high. Oops. Remember, it doesn't grab instantly there, Meg. And so you wanna give it a second to grab before you start messing. And then this is gonna go here. Now, I'm gonna pop a couple dimensionals on here, and you'll be able to see why I didn't glue my hearts down right away, because I'm gonna kind of come back and place them up after I've got our greeting on here. And I like this, I don't wanna catch these. I like this where our greeting goes off the end. All right, so now, easiest way to attach these is to just pull them off one at a time and come back with a teeny bit of multi-purpose liquid glue and tuck them exactly where I want them to go, okay? You could put the glue on the back of the hearts. Just pay attention to where that glue is gonna go, because you don't want it to overlap and glue your card shut. So it's generally safer, I find, to just put the glue on the layer and then drop your heart down into it. So, all right, there we go. All right, so now we have some fun conversation hearts. Oh, sorry, we're kind of like working off the edge here. So now let's go ahead and look at our inside layers. So I cut two of these coordinating, remember our Stitch So Sweetly dies, cut two of these coordinating ones here from the basic white cardstock, and they're gonna layer inside. I'm giving this a second to dry here so I don't repeat my mistake and have stuff move. All right, so we have one that's gonna go on this layer and one that's gonna go here. So we have kind of that fun, you know, open up your card and our right side up hearts here. But let's look at this first one. So we don't necessarily need two greetings that are repetitive. So what if we add some of these fun stamps on here? So let's go ahead and bring in a die. So I'm going to use this die here, cut from the Real Red cardstock. So I have this here like that. And then adding in a couple of these conversation hearts. So I have the one that says BFF and it's coordinating, and the one that says love you and it's coordinating. They're two different shapes. And I'm gonna bring in Blushing Bride and Highland Heather to do our accent pieces here for our center layer. And now I usually stamp my outline first and then add the background to it, but I honestly think that these are easier to line up if I go ahead and stamp the background first and then stamp the layer over the top. Now, if you're looking at that and you're like, Meg, you didn't stamp off, how are you gonna use that same purple there for both? This stamp has a lot of nice texture variation in it, and so it's gonna kind of automatically stamp off. And the way Stampin' Up! Does that, it's a really cool technique for stamp making. They basically add a different amount of texture to the surface of the stamp, which means that it picks up a different amount of ink to apply to your paper. So it automatically does it for you. So there we go. All right, so there are two hearts and our hearts there in the center. So I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue and go ahead and pop some glue on here. Remember, with this glue, if you can see it, it is enough. You don't need a ton. And since it doesn't grab right away, I'm gonna pop a block on there. And then we'll go ahead and work on assembling our card. So I think for the inside one, let's see, where is it? Oh, I put it in there already. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this into our card. That should be good. I'm not gonna stamp on this because this would be where we would write our little greeting, but I am going to look at how far down I need to put it so that it's hidden behind our layers. And then this one, remember, it's gonna overlap a little, so you don't wanna put adhesive all the way across. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop some adhesive just on this side here. So I'll line these two up. There we go. And that will fold there across, okay? So there is our fun Valentine, lots of layered and a great DSP card base. If you're looking for more DSP card bases, there's a hashtag in the video description, which should take you to more. Or I haven't posted it yet, but I'll add a link to my blog where I have a lot of DSP card base ideas, different ways to kind of make the most of your Valentine paper, especially when you have one that's so darling and you just wanna kind of maximize it, show off both sides, have the coordinating pieces. That makes for a really great idea. All right, this card is kind of lacking some bling here. I feel like maybe we might need to add some. The page in the book that has the suite on it includes my favorite iridescent rhinestones. So let's see. I think I can reach behind me and grab those. Yeah, oops, not those. Let's see, do I have them? Oh yes, well, there's a brand new package. I might just have to break them open because I've been going through these things like crazy. Oh, here's my other one. Okay, so here we are. Let's see, do you guys think it needs some bling? I think it does. So I'm gonna pop some on here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 is my usual number. 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. All right, I'm not gonna win any awards for my singing, but YouTube will not be catching me for copyright infringement there. Anyway, so kind of a fun addition there. And then the other thing that we, of course, would wanna do when you have your stamps out is go ahead and stamp your envelope. So I might actually just stamp the hearts up here. I think I'm not gonna put the, oh, I have to. I'm just gonna do like 1 or 2. Oh, I kind of like that. So don't, maybe you don't have to stamp all of them. You could just do a couple. Oh, that's cute. And let's see, since they're so much fun, I think I'm gonna drive the post office a little crazy and just put a whole bunch on here. So I know that when this envelope arrives, it's probably gonna end up with like one of those white strips across the bottom, one of those stickers, but that's okay. And then we'll put a couple on the back. Okay, so there's a little warning in this, which says that if you have these little conversation heart stamps, you will not be able to stop stamping them. You will have to just keep stamping because they are too much fun. So there we have our fun Valentine cards. So, all right. Well, I hope that you guys have your Fridays off to a good start and that you have some fun things planned for this weekend as far as crafting and creativity and things like that go. My daughter has a music scholarship audition for college, so we're excited about that. Lots of creativity in a different way, right? But be sure to grab some Valentine pieces and make some cards. And a word about Valentine's. So I know lots of us say, oh, we don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. It's kind of a Hallmark holiday and not a big deal for, people's personal circumstances. But I will say that Valentine's Day is a really, really nice time to reach out to people in your life who you maybe wouldn't think about in coordination with Valentine's Day. Like the school bus driver or the bank teller or the grocery counter checker outer or whoever you see every day. These are people who would love to get some kind of little thank you. And doing something like cutesy Valentine just is a fun way to share. Oh yeah, Trish says Galentine's. That's right. So if you're an official follower of Galentine's Day, then of course you need Valentine things. But even if you're not, if you don't know what Galentine's Day is, maybe someone will put in the description. But I think it's the idea that your friends, gals in your life, whatever, are deserving of celebrating Valentine's too. So think about making some Valentines and sharing them with people who you are not lovey-dovey with, just people who you're thinking of, because who doesn't love to get a card, and you'll have fun making them. So have a great weekend. Good luck with all of your endeavors, and I will see you again on Monday. And I can't wait to hear if people have been working on their Valentines, Galentines, people-entines, whatever, neighbor-entines, whatever you want to call them. So happy stamping, guys. Have a great weekend.